Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. What's the best investment you can ever make? Well, if you know me and you know my channel, you might be thinking what I would say is an index fund. And while I'm a huge fan of index funds, I think they are absolutely phenomenal investments. I absolutely think there is a better investment yet. The best investment you can ever make by far and away is an investment in yourself. Now, I know that may sound corny and cliche, but stick with me here for a second. I like to think of money in terms of sports, which if you knew me, it would be hilarious for me to say because I don't know much about sports at all. But the reason I like to compare money to sports is I like to say it's a good idea to have a good offense as well as a good defense. Your defense is all of those things you do to control your expenses. Perhaps you keep a budget or you track your spending. Maybe you try to cut back on expenses, like reducing the number of times you eat out. Maybe you drive a Toyota rather than driving a BMW. Now, when it comes to your offense, that's all of those things you do to influence your income. Maybe it's asking for a raise at work, applying for a better paying position, or even moving to a new area that offers better career opportunities. When it comes to your defense, there are really only so many cutbacks that you can or realistically that you may want to make. But when it comes to your offense, your earning potential, that is absolutely unlimited. It all depends on the steps you are willing to take to increase your income. Now, you can stop eating out lunch every single day and save yourself maybe $60 a week. Over the course of a year, that's $3,000. Or you can muster up the courage and walk into your boss's office and ask for a raise. Now, of course, you want to be smart about it. You aren't just going to walk in there and be like, hey, I think it's time for me to get a raise. Your boss is going to look at you and be like, why is that? And you better have a better answer other than, well, I've been here for a little while now. Instead, a better approach is to schedule a meeting with your boss and then walk in with a list prepared. So when your boss asks you, why is it time for you to get a raise? You can say, because I've increased company profits by 10%. I've reduced expenses by another 5%. I go above and beyond to help my coworkers, example, X, Y, and Z. And I've also completed the Google Project Management Certificate. It's hard to say no when you have a list of reasons. So don't be afraid to ask for a raise, but don't simply ask for one because you want to make more money. It is in your best interest and your employer's best interest for you to be a superb employee, one that is constantly going the extra mile, hardworking, and constantly growing in their position. The best thing you can do is make yourself an invaluable asset to your employer. And I would argue that asking for a raise is just one of the many ways to invest in yourself. It's having the courage to stand up for yourself and your net worth. And it's important to note that every time you ask for a raise, you may not get it. At that point, you can ask yourself, what am I willing to do in order to earn this raise? Or don't be afraid to look outside your company for other job opportunities, as studies and research show that you can be rewarded for not being loyal to one employer. And if you are successful in asking for a raise and you get one, well, that's fantastic. Let's say that you currently make $20 an hour. If you work 40 hours a week, that's going to give you an income of $41,600. If you're able to successfully negotiate a $1.50 per hour raise, well, that will boost your income to $44,720. That's a little more than $3,000 per year as an increase, all without having to tighten up your budget or reduce your spending. Asking for a raise is a way of recognizing your worth, but by no means is it the only way to invest in yourself. The ways you can invest in yourself are acquiring new knowledge and skills that are valuable in the marketplace. There are a great variety of ways to do this, but perhaps the most common thought of way is through a college degree. And depending on the degree you acquire, it can make you a very marketable candidate to employers. For instance, if you are working as a bookkeeper earning the median pay of $45,000 per year, but decided to go back to school to earn your accounting degree and were able to land a job as an accountant, well, the median pay for that field is $79,000 a year. In that instance, you're looking at a $34,000 a year increase in pay. It's very unlikely that if you were making $45,000 a year that you would be able to cut back on expenses enough to save $34,000 a year. Not impossible, but unlikely. And that is why I like to drive home the importance of boosting your income rather than simply just cutting back on your expenses. In this instance, a $34,000 increase in pay would lead to over $1 million in additional earnings over the course of your entire working career. And that is not even factoring in raises or promotions that are inevitable to happen along the way. A degree is a great way to invest in yourself. As my dad always says, education doesn't cost, it pays. And that's his way of saying that the higher your education level, the higher you're likely to get paid. He is still on my case. I get a call at least once a month from him saying, "You going back to school yet?" He still wants me to get a PhD. Now, as of right now, I have no plans of doing it, but I do place a high value on education and I love school. I'm pretty nerdy like that, so who knows? Maybe in the future it'll happen. And he's not wrong with that belief. Study after study and survey after survey do indeed show that the higher your education level, the higher your pay. A person with a bachelor's is likely to make more than someone with a high school degree. Someone with a master's is likely to make more than someone with a bachelor's. Someone with a doctorate degree is likely to make more than someone with simply a master's. Now, of course, none of this is set in stone. There are people who do phenomenally well without any degree, and there are people who are making less than their peers and they have many degrees, but the general trend is there. Of course, we are all aware that education can be extremely expensive and student loan debt can be a huge burden, but certain degrees certainly do pay better than others, and many employers are willing to foot the bill for their employees' tuition. That should show how important employers find degrees. And I always figure, if they're willing to pay for you to become more skilled, why would you not take them up on that? College or university degrees are not the only way to invest in yourself. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of additional online courses or certifications that you can use to make yourself more valuable. I have a friend who is a physical therapist, and every time she gains an additional certification, she gets anywhere from a $1 to $2 per hour raise. And as you can imagine, she's out there getting as many certifications as she possibly can, which of course makes her very valuable to her current employer. But if down the road she ever decides to look for a different position with a different company, that is going to make her a very attractive job candidate as well. Now, of course, you probably want to focus on the licenses and the certifications that pertain to your field, but pretty much every field out there does offer additional certifications. Many of these are found through online programs, weekend workshops, or even through textbook. No matter who you are, there are loads of continuing education opportunities out there. Continuing education goes far beyond degrees and certifications. It's about challenging yourself, and for everyone, that means something different. Maybe that's joining a professional organization, which not only looks great on your resume, but offers great networking potential and allows you to interact with other skilled professionals and learn from other skilled professionals in your field. Or for others, maybe it's simply reading a book, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos that encourage a growth mindset and help you dive deeper into a subject that you're passionate about. Investing in yourself can also come in the form of allowing yourself the opportunity to explore your passion and your unique skill sets and try turning them into income-producing side gigs. And who knows, maybe one day those side gigs become your main career. Maybe you have a passion for investing and for real estate. You combine the two and then you decide you want to own rental properties. That can actually be a phenomenal career. It just doesn't matter, are you going to allow yourself the time and opportunity necessary to get that going? And of course, it's not always about making yourself the most appealing employee. If you are constantly honing your craft, that is also going to serve you as an entrepreneur and a business owner. If you are the most skilled in your area, you can demand the highest prices and people will still pay them. The more value you bring to the table, any table, puts you in prime earning potential. Really, what it comes down to is a growth mindset. Don't settle into any one job or any one pay rate. Use where you currently are to take yourself to the next level. Any point can serve as a launching pad to something greater. Keep your eyes open for greater opportunities and make sure that you are taking steps to get there. The job you start with may have a starting salary of $40,000 a year, but you can gain skills in that position that will one day open the doors to a job that maybe pays $60,000 a year. And the skills you gain from that job can open further doors down the road. There are any number of ways to challenge yourself in your field. There are the conventional ways like degrees and certifications, but there are also unconventional ways like trying new things and failing and trying again. Experience is a great teacher. The important thing is to not settle. Push yourself to become better, to become more skilled. The more skilled you are, the higher the pay you can command. And it's easier to achieve your financial goals if you have a higher income. Remember, it's not always about cutting back on your expenses. Yes, you should monitor your expenses, reduce them wherever possible, but your income, your earning potential, that is important too. Your earning potential is absolutely unlimited. There is only so much you can do to reduce your expenses. So income is just as important, if not more important. Well, that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you are new here, consider subscribing or even consider sharing with a friend if they would get something out of this. I hope you have a great day. I post new videos every single week, so I will see you next week. Bye.